you all doing? I know it has been a minute since I did any tutorial, but you guys have been asking for the tutorial for this beanie for a minute now, and finally I am doing it. So this is the beanie we are going to be making, but we're making it in this jungle green color. I got 2 of them. This is the chunky robin. It's the one I'm going to use today, and all you need for this project is a 4.5mm hook and some scissors. Okay, that is all you need. So let's get started. So we are going to be making an adult beanie. This is an adult beanie. For the baby beanie or a kid's beanie, you're going to just reduce the number of foundation chain that we do. That's all. Okay, so we are going to be making an adult beanie, and let me show you how to do it. So you're just going to make a slip knot. You're going to get started with a slip knot, then you're going to chain 46. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 40 41 42 43 44 45 and 46. So this is the foundation chain for an adult beanie. Okay, 46. So we are going to start working. This is going to be the foundation chain. So we're going to start working from this side all the way to this side. This is going to be the top side of the beanie, this side. Okay, and this will be the other side of the beanie. Okay, so to get started, you're going to chain 1. Okay, don't count the one that you've just added. You're going to go into the 46th stitch. What I love to do, you can go on this, you can use these stitches on this side, but what I love to do is turn my work on the side and go into these stitches. Okay, so you're going to place a single crochet onto that 46th stitch, make a single crochet into the next one, make a single crochet, and you're going to make single crochets all the way until you have 10 stitches remaining. So this is what you should have. So continue making your single crochets until you have 10 stitches remaining, sorry. You can put a stitch marker on the 10th one. Let me show you how to do that. So I got myself a stitch marker. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to count 10 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, and into that 10th one you're going to just place it right there. Okay, so you know when to end your work. So continue making single crochets until you get to the stitch marker. So once you get to where the stitch marker is, this is where I need you to pay attention. Okay, you're going to remove the stitch marker, and in that 10th stitch from the top you're going to make a slip stitch. Okay, a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 1. That will be the end of row 1 or row 2, because the foundation chain is also a row. So this is what you're going to do. You're not going to go into both stitches. You're only going to use the back loop only. The back loop is, you hold your work like this. These stitches over here, they're the front loop, and the stitches behind are the back loop. They make a V. Okay, so the back ones are the back loop stitches. Okay, so you're going to make a single crochet like that and go into the next one and make a single crochet. Continue working in the back loop only until you get to the end of your work, or just right before the end of your work, and then I'll see you guys on something. Okay, this is what you should have if you create some ribbing. So once you get to the end of your row 2, this is what you should have. Okay, This is what you should have. Now when you come to the end of that row, instead of going through the back loop only in that last stitch, you're going to go into both loops like that. Okay, make a single crochet, then chain one. In the first stitch, do not go through both loops, just go through the back loop. Okay, then continue making single crochets until you get to the top, to where we started, not where we started, where we ended the first row. Okay, once we get there, I will show you what to do next. So we are almost the end of the second row. We have one last stitch. So what you're going to do is make a single crochet in the back loop, and then you're going to skip over this row and go into the 9th stitch. You remember we used the 10th stitch, now you're going into the 9th stitch. You are going to make a slip stitch, okay, and into the 8th one make another slip stitch like that. Then you're going to chain one. Okay, then you're going to turn your work around and start working single crochets all the way until you get to the end. Once you get to the end of the row, you're going to go into both stitches instead of going through the back loop. Okay, at the end of the row we go through both stitches, make a slip stitch, then chain one. The beginning of another row we just use the back loop only. Okay, so continue making your single crochets until you get to the top of the beanie, and then I'll see you guys on some here. So once you're done with that row and you only have one remaining on that row, you're going to make a single crochet. Okay, and then remember this part. This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. The 7th stitch you're going to make a slip stitch like that, and then the 6th stitch you're also going to make another slip stitch like that. Okay, then you're going to chain one, turn your work around, and then continue working single crochets. Okay, I hope mnaelewa. I'm really hoping you're understanding that the process that I'm using here, especially with this part. Okay, so just continue making single crochets all the way. Remember, when you get here, you're using both stitches to make the single crochet. Then when you chain one, you start working back loops only. Okay, until you get to this point. So I'm going to go this way to the bottom of the beanie and then upwards until I have one stitch remaining to come show you what to do with the rest of the part. Okay, again we are back. So once you have one stitch remaining, you're going to single crochet in the back loop like that. Then 1 2 3 4 5. In the 5th stitch you're going to make a slip stitch. Okay, in the 4th stitch you're going to make another slip stitch, and then you're going to chain one, turn your work around, then continue working single crochets until you get to the end. Then chain one, turn your work around, continue working single crochets until you get here. Then I'll show you what to do with the remaining. Again, once you get to the end of that, almost the end, you have one stitch remaining. You're going to make a slip stitch, a single crochet in that last stitch, and then in the 3rd stitch here you're going to make a slip stitch. Okay, and in the 2nd stitch you're going to make another slip stitch like that. Then you're going to chain one, turn your work around, and continue working single crochets. So as you can see, we only have one stitch remaining. Hi Luna. you only have one stitch remaining here, so I'm going to show you what to do with that. So just, Luna, can I record the video in peace? Thank you, Mama. So you're just going to continue working downwards single crochets and then up single crochets until you get here, and then I'll show you what to do with the single crochet that is remaining here. Okay, so let's do that. So you have one remaining on the stitch to end your work, so make a single crochet like that. Then remember the one that was remaining here, we're just going to make a slip stitch like that, then chain one and then work your way back to this part. So this is what you should have. Just see how we worked our way upwards. So this is one part. Okay, so as you can see, my beanie, it has this part, has this part, has this part. So for an adult beanie, we are going to make 6 of them. Okay, for an adult beanie, we are going to make 6 of them. So just work all the way down, and then I'll show you how to start the other part. Okay, so now we are done with that first part. So let me show you how to do the second part. You're going to take a stitch marker again, and then you're going to count 10 from this part, from the top. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Then you're going to put to place your stitch marker on the 10th stitch like that. Okay, so we are going to work single crochets all the way until we get, and my cats have decided I'm not going to record in peace today. Minnie, please, thank you. So we are going to place single crochets all the way until you get to where the stitch marker is, and then I'll show you what to do once you're there. Okay, so I've done my single crochets all the way until to where the stitch marker is. So what you're going to do is remove the stitch marker, and then in that stitch you're going to make a slip stitch. You're basically doing the same thing that we did on this side. Okay, so after the the slip stitch, you're going to chain one, turn your work around, and then continue. I'm sorry guys, and then continue, Minnie. And then continue making single crochets all the way until you get to the end of the row, and then make single crochets all the way back to this point, and then I'll meet you guys once I'm here. We're basically going to be repeating the same thing that we have done on this side, but I'm going to show you for this second part, and then the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th part you can do by yourself. Okay, so let's do that. So we have, sorry for the noise guys. Okay, so now we have one stitch remaining on that row. We're going to make a single crochet like that, then go into the 9th stitch on this part, make a slip stitch, then on the 8th stitch make a slip stitch, and I'm counting it from the top. Okay, this way. So the 9th and the 8th stitch we have made slip stitches. Then you're going to chain one, turn your work around, then continue making single crochets until you get back to this point. Okay, so again you have one remaining on that row. You're going to make a single crochet, and then on the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 on the 7th stitch you're going to make a slip stitch. On the 6th stitch you're going to make a slip stitch, chain one, turn your work around, and continue making single crochets. As you can see, this is what it's going to create. Now we're going to work all the way until you get to this point. It's basically the same thing we're doing, okay, until we get to this point. But let me see you guys, let me finish off this part with you guys so that you can be able to do the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th part by yourselves. Okay, so let me do that. Make a single crochet into that last stitch. Okay, then on the 5th stitch here, this part that is remaining, this is the 5th stitch, you're going to make a slip stitch, sorry, I keep confusing slip stitch and slip knot in my terms, not in the act of making slips. Okay, anyway, make a slip stitch, and then in the fourth one make another slip stitch, then chain one. So now you have 3 remaining here. Turn your work around, make single crochets until you get back to this part. Okay, so continue making that. As you can see, it's coming together now. So now you're going to make a single crochet into that last stitch like that, then into the third stitch. Now you only have 3, 1, 2, 3. Into the third stitch you're going to slip stitch, into the second stitch you're going to slip stitch, and then chain 1, and then we only have 1 remaining. Okay, so continue working your way down using single crochets, and then I'll see you guys once I'm there, once I'm back to that point. Okay, so for the last row, again you're going to make a single crochet into that last stitch, then the 1 stitch remaining you're going to slip stitch. Okay, chain 1, then you work your way down using single crochets again. So that is going to be the end of the second part. So now we have 4 more parts to go. Okay, so this is the end of the second part. Sorry, once I get this down here, that will be the end. Let me do that. So there we go. Now we have 2 parts. Behave. Okay, now we have 2 parts, so we're going to make 4 more to make a whole beanie. Okay, to make a complete beanie like this one for an adult, you need 6 parts. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to count 10. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then you're going to place a stitch marker right there. Okay, so then you're going to work single crochets until this point. You can go back and watch the video for this second part. It's exactly the same as the third part, the fourth part, fifth part, sixth part. Okay, then I'll meet you guys once you're done with all 6 parts to show you how to attach and connect up here. Okay, so let's do that.
Usually the wrong answers. My job is to find the right answers.
Give freedom a chance. See if it doesn't.
Okay, so now we are done with all the parts. Let me show you. This is the first part from here to here, this row. The second part starts from here to here. The third part starts from here to here. Fourth part from here to here. Fifth part from here to here, and sixth part from here to here. Okay, so now that you have 6 is the standard for an adult beanie, unless the person wants an extra large, maybe they have heavier dreadlocks or big dreadlocks, you're going to make an extra large one. Maybe you can add 1 more part, but for a normal adult beanie, this is what you're going to use. Okay, so let's now attach both sides. So now we are going to start attaching the 2 sides together to make one beanie. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hook, insert your hook through both loops on this side, and then you're going to pull up the yarn through the 2 loops like that, and then you're going to make a single crochet like that. Okay, turn your work around so that it can be easier working. Then this side, this one side, you have the front loop and the back loop. Okay, this other side you have the front loop and the back loops. Okay, so you're going to take the front loop like that. You're going to take the front loop of this other side and make a single crochet. Front loop of this side and front loop of this other side, make a single crochet. Okay, front loop, make a single crochet, front loop, front loop. So we are not going into these stitches, we're going on into the what do they call, the front loops, which are closer to you, not the ones that are further from you. Okay, front loop, front loop, that. So you're going to continue making that all the way until you get to the end, but this is what your work should look like. This is the inside, this is the wrong side. Make sure your work is facing the right side. The right side looks like this, the wrong side looks like this. Okay, so make sure you, when you're attaching your work, is on the right side. Okay, so continue making that. I will get back to you guys once I get to this point, because as you can see, this part is not the same as this part, so I'll get back to you once I get to this point. Okay, so now when you get to this part, what you're going to do is, I hope you can see, we're going to continue the same way. Front loop, front loop, like that, because it also has a front loop and a back loop, so make sure you're picking up the front loop only, and then you're going to make that all the way until you get to the end, which in our case is on top right here. Okay, and all your front loop should match up with the other front loop, because it's practically the same. Beanie, the number we started with is the number we ended with, so every stitch you're making you're picking up the front loop of this side and the front loop of this other side. They should all end at the same time here. Okay, one should not be shorter, one should not be longer. They should be exactly the same. So make sure you go all the way until you get to this point, and then I will just be left with this hole over here. So now that we're done, see, now we're left with this hole over here. Now you have your beanie. This is what it should look like. Okay, this is what it should look like. So now what you're going to do is position your beanie how you want it to be, how you want the client to wear, or how you want to wear it. Okay, so that we can close up this part over here. So if you want it like this, if you want this center part to be in the middle, or you want it to be at the end, that is what I mean by making sure your beanie is exactly how you want to wear it. Okay, so mine, I'm going to center it at the side, on the side, sorry, I'm going to center mine on the side so that it can look a bit seamless rather than it looking like it's right there. So this is what you have on one side, and this is what you have on the other side. Okay, so now we are going to take a needle and just weave in this part and close it up. It's not a big deal as long as you have positioned your beanie the way you want it to be. You're just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, just make sure it's exactly how you want to wear it. Okay, so let's do that. So now you're going to take your scissors, cut off a piece of yarn, secure the top part like that. Then you're going to take your needle, okay, insert the yarn, obviously, like that. Then now this is how I want my beanie to be. So all I'm going to do is just go back and forth until this part is completely closed up. Okay. You see that? That is what you should have. Okay. So right now I'm just trying to close up this hole over here. There you have it. So this is what you should have at the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just secure that part. Like that. Then I'm going to take my needle. And there you go. You have a perfect beanie. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and also you can leave a comment in case you have any questions or you want me to do another tutorial. Just make sure you comment down below. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.